Welcome to the COP26 Nature Newsroom here in Glasgow. We are now welcoming Mr. Tim Christophersen. You are the head of the Nature for Climate branch at the UN Environment Programme in Kenya. Welcome, Tim. People have been talking about the UN Decade for Ecosystem Restoration. Can you tell us about it? What does it mean?
So the years 2021 until 2030 are the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration, and it's a global rallying cry for all of us to prevent, halt, and reverse the degradation of ecosystems worldwide. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a daunting task, but it's of course essential for keeping 1.5 degrees alive. It's essential for stopping and reversing biodiversity loss. It's essential for livelihoods, for clean water, for clean and available abundant food, for energy security. We put out a report in June that says that we need ecosystem restoration at a massive scale to be able to reach the SDGs.
Indeed, nature is essential, and we won't reach the goals of the Paris Agreement without nature. Can you tell us more about that? Why is it that governments need to invest in nature-based solutions to address biodiversity loss, but also to address the climate crisis?
We are at this point now where all the solutions have to be deployed immediately and simultaneously. So while nature is not an excuse for lack of decarbonization in other sectors, it has to be part of the solution, and it can roughly be about 1/3 of the solution for mitigation. But what is important with nature-based solutions is that they also have adaptation benefits. You basically get 2 for the price of 1, but you get even more than 2 for the price of 1, because if nature-based solutions are designed well, for example, using the IUCN standards, or there's many other tools out there that tell us how to do it well, if we design them well, they can have benefits way beyond carbon. And it's important not to focus on carbon alone. We can't stress that enough for the quality of nature-based solutions. Don't take shortcuts to just maximize carbon sequestration at the expense of biodiversity or at the expense of social rights and safeguards. This is a very important thing to keep in mind. And REDD+ has taught us 10 years of important and sometimes hard-won lessons on that.
Thank you, Tim. And just to make it very real and concrete for the people who are watching us, can you give us some examples of nature-based solutions at the local level? What are cities and local communities doing in Africa, because you are based in Nairobi? Can you give us a few examples of what it means, nature-based solutions at the local level in Africa?
Certainly. So, for example, on the Seychelles, where there's a lot of problems now with storm surges, we replant mangroves to ensure that the storm surges not hitting the country as hard as they otherwise would. We restore and protect coral reefs as natural flood and storm barriers. In Gambia, which is a small country in Western Africa that is based around a large river, we're restoring forests along the river together with the local communities to ensure that the river remains clean, but also that it remains flowing, because it's the lifeblood of the entire country. And if that river dries up or is too polluted, the country's entire economy might collapse. So a nature-based solution is not a nice to have or an add-on. It is, in many countries in Africa and elsewhere in the world, essential for economic development, for social development, and for the environment.
Thank you, Tim. And there's a lot happening here, a lot of background and intense negotiations going on around the clock. We are hearing that nature-based solutions are still in the package of decisions that will be adopted here in Glasgow. What would be your messages to the leaders who are here in Glasgow, the negotiators, the ministers who are working around the clock? What do you want to tell them in this final stretch?
First of all, it's great that nature-based solutions are now part of the overall climate change solution. That is essential, but we have to go one step beyond now and ensure that these are good nature-based solutions, that they are of high quality, that they are not nature-based excuses, but that they can really improve people's lives, help biodiversity, and help us mitigate the climate crisis and adapt to it. All of this can be done if nature-based solutions are well designed. This is now the next big challenge. I think everybody has understood no Paris without nature, that's clear. And everybody is now starting to invest. But what is clear is that this has to be done well. And we know how to do it well. There's decades of experience of how to do it well.
Thank you, Tim. And we're also hearing that Egypt is going to host COP27 and that the Minister of Egypt, Minister of Environment, Yasmin Fouad, might be the next COP president. Do you think Egypt is going to be a leader in this field in terms of nature-based solutions? And also, what does it mean for Egypt to be hosting COP27 on the African continent, looking at the future?
Well, regardless of who hosts COP27, it is clear that Egypt is a leader in this field because they spearheaded a resolution in another convention in the CBD that put restoration on the map and onto the path of being part of the post-2020 global biodiversity framework. So for Egypt to bridge this and make restoration a central connector between the biodiversity and the climate and the Land Declaration Convention, the UNFCCC, would be a natural fit for Egypt. They are already doing this, and it would be a great choice for them to also focus on this going forward.
Thank you.